Hi, I'll be doing my narrative speech on my experience without electronics for a week. One may wonder the reason I decided to go out without electronics for a week, and some people may even be repulsed by it. There is a point too where I thought the same. But the real question is, why did I do it? Did I want to try to make my life harder? Do I enjoy being alone, or did I lose my mind? But none of those were the reason. I was so obsessed with technology, and I finally found out that I needed a break. But I really didn't want it, but I needed it. It all started out when I was hanging out with my friends, and I looked around at all of us, and we were all on our phones. There was no communication between us verbally, but we were talking to each other on our smartphones. Finally, my friend asked me a question, but I was so distracted about what was going on my phone that I didn't even realize she was talking to me. She then asked again if I was even listening to her. After a brief moment, I gathered my thoughts. I put my phone down, shut off the TV, took off my smartwatch, put my laptop down on the floor, shut off my iPad, and I just finally realized it was all too much. I was constantly buzzing, and I was getting distracted by every little thing, and I couldn't even focus on anything, not even my own friends. I really realized that I needed to change, and so I decided to take action. I decided that I would remove all movies. I would have no phone, no games, no music or TV, no smartwatches, and no distractions of electronics of any kind. I would sit for amounts of times, and my mind would just wander. I found how easily it could be to get lost in thought, and it gave me time to just think. It lowered my stress levels, worked on problems that were emotionally eating me away, and I didn't feel burned out. There was no influx of information, and I didn't need it, and I could finally process what it all meant. I came to find answers to questions that I didn't think I had in my head even. I found I didn't need my phone. I had anxiety at first because I had no way of contacting others if something bad happened to me. But I realized that there was no big news happening, and I didn't care what was on my phone. Other people could be the saviors if I couldn't be contacted, and there was no notifications, and I wasn't worried about what others were doing. I wasn't stressed about work, and I was vastly interested in what was around me. It gave me a feeling of freedom. I also found out that work didn't come into my head as much. I was able to separate home from work life, and there was no stressing at night about the work the next day or if someone needed my help. I got more time with my family, and I did not overwork. I came to realize that I could just save work for the next day, and it would still be there, and I didn't have to worry about it. I also realized that a good night's sleep can really change your attitude. Before this, I used to be on my phone until I would fall asleep with it in my hand. There used to be lights that would illuminate my room, but they were all off, and there was darkness, silence, and relaxation. I created a set bedtime, and I did not want to sleep in on weekends, oddly, and my room was only for resting and not for doing homework or TV. It was honestly like my personal sanctuary. I also learned that time is a blessing. Nothing was in my face to tell me the time, and I finally got time to work on my passions. Chores oddly became okay and even fun. Instead of having no time to do many things, I had a lot of time to do a little thing. I could finally tell people yes to helping them as I had more time, and I felt less burned out and more productive. I had less on my plate, which lifted a great burden off my shoulder. And finally, I became to appreciate the little things in life. I was more present in the moment, and I had more of a capacity to notice little details. I finally appreciated what was right in front of me, and I could find the positive side of everything. I was more thankful for what I had, and it was a life-changing experience and so hard to deal with, but it was so worth it. I used to sit through a movie and check my phone every so often, and I'd even fall asleep while looking at my phone. Every morning prior, I would wake up, look at my phone, check the weather, do all my daily stuff on my electronics. But I've learned that technology has taken over people's lives, and when I decided to cut it out, I had more benefits than I could even imagine. So, how did I do? Did I collapse from the pressure of not knowing what was going on in the world around me? Or did I do better than I thought I ever could and achieve the answers that I thought I would never get?